Good evening, Camp Ross leaders and parents. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Elizabeth Warren. I'm the director of the Goshen Scout Reservation, and I have here with me Sarah Moses. Sarah, will you introduce yourself?
Hello. Let me make sure that on our recording we will see me also. There we are. So hello, my name is Sarah. I'm the camping specialist, so I do a lot of the back end and help out with registration at Goshen.
And we're both really excited today to talk again with you all about Camp Ross. I know that previously we had scheduled that today would be about meeting your Camp Ross team, but we've decided to shift some things around since our program and adventure guide is currently live on our website. So we wanted to talk to you today about our program and adventure elective offerings at Camp Ross. So what we'll be doing today is just doing a step-by-step walkthrough all the programs that are offered at Camp Ross. Again, if you're unfamiliar with Camp Ross is one of the 5 scout camps at the Goshen Scout Reservation here in National Capital Area Council, and it's just for rising Webelos and Arrow of Light Scouts. So your scouts that are going to be 4th and 5th graders in the fall. I know that we're currently experiencing lots of Cub Scout crossovers over this past weekend and an upcoming weekend. So there was some transitionings taking place. But anyway, today we're just going to talk to you about program, which I think is the fun part about camp. A few housekeeping things before we get started. So if you have a question at any point throughout the webinar today, you have a Q&A box. Please go ahead and type in that question into that box. And while I'm chit-chatting away, Sarah is going to be watching those questions and we'll bring those up at the end of our webinar to answer any of those questions. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube as well as We Own Adventure, which is National Capital Area Council's blog spot. It'll also be available on the gotogoshen.org website. So lots of places that you can find this. If you're watching this now with us again, thank you for coming. And if you're watching this later, thanks for taking the time to listen to us and learn about Camp Ross program opportunities. All right, well, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Camp Ross in 2025. Well, of course, before we talk about Camp Ross, we like to start each of our webinars with a safety moment. So today's safety moment is about the annual health and medical record. This is a required form for Scouting America activities and programs. And really, we're talking about this on a high level. And so you're have a typically for most Cub Scout units, you're probably familiar with parts A and B of a medical form. And this provides good information about emergency contact information, allergies that somebody may have, dietary restrictions. But when you go to a summer camp, like Camp Ross, which takes place for a longer than 72-hour period of time, there is the additional Part C section of your medical form that is required. So we wanted to do a quick review on Part C, again, on a high level. If you're not familiar with this, I encourage you to meet with your PAC leadership, maybe your district executive, to learn more about this. But the thing that's so special about Part C is that it requires a physician's signature, meaning a physical appointment with your scouts and your own if you're attending Camp Ross primary care physician. So knowing that camp is going to be here before you know it. If that is not something that you have on your calendar or have scheduled, we really encourage you to do this for yourself as well as to talk with your scouts and their parents about making an appointment with their primary care provider so that we can have the signed copy of Part C. If you are attending Camp Ross for longer than 72 hours, so that's all of our scouts and majority of the adults, since this is a week-long Sunday to Saturday program, you must have this form completed in order to be in attendance. Sarah, am I missing anything here on the medical form?
So just a couple things on if you have folks that are coming only for 2 days, so 72 hours or less, uh, they only need parts A and B unless they're planning to take the swim test, in which case they should make sure to get part C, that physical, filled out as well.
Yeah, thanks for the additional information. All things about the Scouting America Medical Forum can be found on scouting.org. That's the national organization's website. We also have a copy of it available on our Go to Goshen website. But main takeaway is that to attend Camp Ross for that week-long period, you must have a signed copy of the Part C along with the completed Parts A and B of your medical form. All right, now we get to talk about Camp Ross programs in 2025. I know on this call we've got a mixture of people who have been to Camp Ross before, people who have never been to Camp Ross before. And I especially want to say this for those of you who have been before, is that a few things are going to look a little different this year. Looking at the new Cub Scout program that was published in June 1st of last year, as well as wonderful feedback from not just participants from last year, but also our staff and our campers. We have kind of reframed how some of the programs look and how they're offered. So there will be lots of new things on this call, whether you are a veteran or a first-time attendee at Ross. Every year at Camp Ross, we have a theme, and this theme helps to guide, all the activities and skits and lots of things that we do at Ross. And this year's theme is mythic heroes. So think Greek mythology. And I know Sarah and I are having a ball trying to pull together, all these fun aspects of what your camp experience will look like this year. But we encourage you to read up on some Greek mythology before you come to camp this year, and you'll get to see lots of Easter eggs of different stories throughout your week at Ross. All right. So today right now we're going to do some high level program review and then get a little more in detail as we go through. But here's a copy of our 2025 program schedule. I know it's smaller print on your screen, and this is also available and posted on our website. But this is a review of the entire week at Camp Ross. There's things that are happening about Sunday, which is when you're checking into Ross. There's all the program portions Monday through Friday, and then your departure from Camp Ross on Saturday. But today, we're just going to focus on that red box of what is happening during the bulk of your stay at camp from Monday, right when you wake up, all the way through Friday when your head hits the pillow at the end of camp. We will have a webinar, I believe it's either April or May, to specifically talk about what to expect on your arrival at camp. So again, if you have questions about that, we're happy to answer them, but the bulk of this is going to be focused today on that Monday through Friday period. So you can see here on again, high level that we've got a bunch of different blocks and things that fill up your day very quickly, but your program schedule is broken into two sections throughout your entire week. So there's a Monday, Tuesday section, followed by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the way we have that structured that way is that Monday and Tuesday is more of an introduction to all the different program areas that are at Ross. It's a chance for you and your scouts to get to know the camp a little bit better, to get to know the staff, to become acquainted with the program areas, learn what the rules of the archery range are, for example, before we can get to going out and doing bring your own target days and other things that we'll chat about today. So when you arrive at Camp Ross, Sunday night, we have leaders meetings every day, which is a chance for the camp administrative teams to chat with the adult leaders on site and give them a copy. In this case, on Sunday evening, a copy of your program schedule for Monday and Tuesday. Again, that's going to be an introduction to each of the program areas. Your pack will travel together and get to participate in programs in these hour-long blocks. So for example, from like 9 to 9:50, you'll be in one program area. You'll have 10 minutes to get some water, use the restroom, walk to your next program area, and experience that throughout the day. Throughout the day, we also have breakfast, lunchtime, dinner time, but today we're mostly talking about what's happening during those program blocks 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 6, as well as some evening program time. So again, Monday and Tuesday, we have that introductory portion. And then Monday evening, you've gone through a day of program. You've gotten to see a little bit of what the camp is like and see what your scouts are most excited and interested in. And Monday evening, you and your pack have the opportunity to tell your camp administration, these are the programs that we would like to do as for the rest of the week. So after that Tuesday is completed, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is a curated program specific to each pack. When I say specific to each pack, I mean specific to your wants, your needs, your requests that align with all the different programs and activities that we have at Ross. So you'll submit a request sheet and be able to plot in what each of those program areas look like. And then on Tuesday, you would receive a copy of this is your schedule for the rest of the week. So again, that allows you to have that introductory time and then that curated schedule towards the second half of the week that fits what your PAC's goals are. Sarah, am I missing anything on here? All right. Okay, so I mentioned there's six program times throughout each day, and there just so happens to be six primary program areas. So during that Monday, Tuesday, you'll get to go to each program at least twice before you decide how you're going to fill the rest of your week. But we're going to take a little bit of a walk down what each of these program areas offer at camp. Here at Camp Ross, we have an aquatics area, we have BBs, archery, nature, handicraft, and scoutcraft. So let's go over to aquatics and learn about what they will have in 2025. Just kidding. I forgot I had this slide. So we've been throwing around some words like advancement and programs and activities. So each of the programs that are in, each of these six areas are primarily based upon the Cub Scout advancement requirements. You've probably heard the term adventure electives. So each of these areas is based upon those electives, and you're able to, for that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday spot, pick what activities you are going to go and do, and they generally come along with an elective requirement. So I'll give an example. One of the activities that we're going to learn about at Ross is aquanaut and swimming. Aquanaut is a Webelos adventure, and swimming is an Arrow of Light adventure, but we know that the Cub Scout program was recently formatted so that they're compatible together. So we're able to teach these two electives together. So some of the feedback that we received last year was leaders wanted a easier way in order to track what all these different adventure electives their scouts were earning throughout the week were. So in our Camp Ross program guide, we have an elective advancement tracker. So I mentioned the example of aquanaut and swimming. So you'd be able to look and see, okay, this is the name of the adventure elective and the rank that it coincides with. Along with all the different activities that we offer at Camp Ross in the aquatics area that fulfill each of those requirements. So by participating in the aquanaut and swimming program, you would complete requirements 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And then by participating in our swim test, which is the very first thing that we do at aquatics before we even get in the water, that completes number 5. So any combination of these that complete all 6 of those requirements, your scouts have earned the aquanaut requirement. So that's an addition for this year. Same thing goes with swimming. This is just an example, and you're welcome to peruse what those other ones look like. But now let's talk more specifically about the different program areas. Okay, so again, we'll be splitting this up into the things that your scouts are doing their first 2 full days at camp, followed by opportunities that you're able to select from for the rest of the week, Monday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Monday, all of our scouts complete the Scouting America swim test. Scouting America swim test is administered by our lifeguards and our aquatics director. And you must pass the swim test in order to participate in some of the higher level activities. However, if you've got scouts that maybe don't know how to swim or aren't able to pass the swim test, we do have like beginner swimming areas that are open for them in order to participate in. So no worries if you have scouts that maybe aren't as comfortable swimming. We don't have a swimming pool, but we have a lake, a 450-acre lake to get to explore in. So there's lots of opportunities there for all scouts to still be able to participate no matter their swimming level. So on Monday, all you're doing at the aquatics area is getting acquainted with the area, and attempting, and then for many of our scouts completing that Scouting America swim test. On Tuesday, it's all about boating and learning some of the basics of paddling, some of the watercraft. We have here a picture of some canoes. We also have some people call them fun-noos, some people call them fun yaks. They're sort of like a beginner canoe setup, or sorry, beginner kayak setup. So Monday is all swim test. Tuesday is introductory boating. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you have the opportunities to select any of the following programs. We have Aquanaut and swimming. Aquanaut and swimming, of course, being based off that Cub Scout uh, electives, Aquanaut being for Webelos, swimming for Arrow of Light. There's also the program Paddle Onward, which is a Webelos adventure, and Paddle Craft. Again, they're taught together because they're complementary. So if you've got two dens that are coming together, they're able to participate in that together, and that's more skills that build off of what they've learned in the Tuesday boating session. By participating in either Aquanaut and swimming, and then Paddle Onward and Paddlecraft Safety, your scouts will be earning those electives or those adventures as well. We also have free swim and free boating, so no instruction needed aside from reviewing our safety practice rules, but just some time to kind of splash around and hang out with their friends in their pack. And our final thing is returning to Camp Ross in 2025. We have a new water trampoline. For those of us that joined at Camp Ross last year, our water trampoline didn't make it through the summer. So we're really excited to have invested in a new trampoline, and not just an investment and a replacement, but also an improvement, because we have a water slide this year, not pictured in this video, that will go off the slide. So I claim the inaugural jump, but after that, you all can have fun on the trampoline and the slide. So very excited to have that back at Camp Ross this year. Just across the road from aquatics, we have our archery area. On Monday and Tuesday, you'll start to see a theme. Monday, Tuesday, scouts are going to learn about the basics of the archery range and the basics of how to shoot. So again, getting acquainted with the area, getting to know the staff, learning safety, because safety first, followed by fun. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, again, that picking your own programs that you're interested in. We have the Archery Webelos and Archery Arrow of Light adventure electives that are present, as well as there's distance shooting. So we'll extend those targets even further back to see how well your aim is. Bring your own target day. I know people like to shoot ketchup packets is one that I've seen that can get a little messy. I see you've got distance shooting on here twice. And open shoot. So open shoot just means, again, coming in similar to free swim and open boating, just to get to practice shooting and testing their aim without any designated instruction, unlike what they'll experience on Monday and Tuesday. So that is archery. In our BB's area, very similar setup to what we just experienced at archery, but Monday and Tuesday, we're going to learn about the rules of the BB range and the basics of how to shoot a BB gun. Followed by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have our BB's Webelos and BB's Arrow of Light adventures. They go with, again, the Webelos and the Arrow of Light adventure requirements. And by participating in both of those for archery and for BBs, you do earn those adventures for your scouts. There's also bring your own target day and open shoot. So you can see how each of these build off each other with that Monday, Tuesday safety-based learning into more of the fun, even though safety is very much still present. Moving over to handicraft. Handicraft is kind of our arts and crafts area. And on Monday and Tuesday, we spend a lot of time on our theme craft. So that theme craft kind of explores that theme that we shared earlier, mythic heroes and Greek mythology. So this year, our theme is mini mosaics. On Monday, your scouts are going to design what they would like their mosaic to look like, what story they're going to tell. We'll explore a little bit of how mosaics are used to tell stories in history and Greek mythology, and then create their own mosaic and grout it in that final day. So this gives them, this wonderful masterpiece to get to work on for 2 days, and then something to take home at the end of the week. On Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, again, we've got lots of different activities for you to choose to participate in. We have an escape room, which pulling into that Greek mythology theme, where we're thinking, escaping the Sphinx and her lair and having to, you know, uh, guess some riddles in order to escape that escape room. We also have leatherworking, beaded animal keychains, and tie-dye. Something that I'd like to highlight here, a handicraft that's different this year compared to former years, is that this past November we announced that Goshen Scout Reservation is an all-inclusive fee structure. So that means that there are no longer any additional costs for when you're participating in a program. So in the past, if you're doing leatherworking, for example, you had to go to the trading post to buy leatherworking kits for your scouts. That is no longer the case. If you sign up for leatherworking, you are receiving those leatherworking kits at the program because it has already been paid for as a part of your overall camp registration fee. So that is handicraft. Moving on to nature. Monday is an introduction to the nature area. We're going to talk about all the different animals that are found at Camp Ross, including snakes, spiders, turtles. You've got some barn swallows up in the photo on the right over there, and many other animals, while also going over the rules of the area. Nature is such a hands-on place where scouts are encouraged to look for, not touch, but look for different animals that they see throughout the week, and then we get to study them as part of our later programs, such as Critter Time, that we'll come on to for a minute. On Tuesday, this is new this year, Scouts are going to learn the Leave No Trace principles for kids specifically, and learn the Scouter Outdoor Code. Now, for some of them, this may be repetition, but that's okay. That means that they're experts and they can help other Scouts who may not be as familiar learn those things as well, because we as Scouts are outdoor stewards, and very excited to bring in some games and activities that'll help to make those Leave No Trace and Outdoor Code principles stick, as well as joining us in a camp-wide cleanup challenge. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have lots of different activities to choose from. Some of these, when I say activities, do not have any elective attributes or advancement portions to them, while as others do. So typically, if we have something listed with Weeblos or Arrows Light and italics, that would be an official Cub Scout adventure. If it's not, it's just as fun, just as helps to teach our scouts many of the scouting-based principles that we're teaching, but doesn't have any electives that go with it for requirements. So this year, new to Camp Ross is Catch the Big One and Fishing. So those are Weeblos and Arrow of Light adventures. We have Critter Hunt, which is when scouts go and help to identify and find all sorts of different animals throughout the camp. Often we find lots of frogs and turtles and newts throughout the creek bed. We also have Critter Time, where our scouts have a chance to interact and sometimes hold some of those animals in the nature center, such as turtle, frogs, and snakes. So you can see in this bottom picture here, we've got a turtle race going on with some of the turtles that have been found throughout the week by our scouts. There's also Earth Rocks, which is a Webelos adventure, where scouts are learning about geological features and different types of rocks and how they form. And then we have Into the Wild and Into the Woods, which are both Arrow of Light adventures. And Into the Wild, scouts are learning about different animal life in the area, the food chain through some interactive programs and activities, and how those animals interact with one another. And Into the Woods, scouts are learning about the different trees and plants in the area. I love that we're in such a forested place here at Camp Ross and at the Goshen Scout Reservation that we really get to be that outdoor classroom for our scouts. So nature truly takes that outdoor classroom to a whole other level. Again, participating in Into the Woods and Into the Wild complete full electives. Catch the Big One and Fishing are partial electives, but that's where that would be listed out as part of that advancement tracker in your program guide. All right, moving on to Our last of the 6 program areas, and again, program areas are staffed with Camp Roth staff members that are leading that program for your scouts. On Monday, we have knot tying. So at Scoutcraft, your scouts are going to learn and practice basic knots that are going to help them be a step ahead when they move into the Scouts BSA program. So knots such as the square knot and 2 half hitches, taut line hitch. We're even going to do the bowline. New this year as well, we're adding chef's knife and knife safety. So scouts here are going to learn and earn the privilege of using a knife during their Cub Scout activities. And this is also going to help prepare them for Tuesday evening foil dinner night. I mentioned earlier in some previous webinars about how each of your meals are in a dining hall. So it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with the exception of Tuesday night, where scouts and you as their adults will be cooking this food over a campfire in a foil dinner packet style. So this Tuesday, Chef's Knife and Chef Safety not only will enable your scouts to participate in that, but also you as their adult leaders watching them participate in these activities would be able to give them their firemanship if so earned. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have advanced knot tying, fire building. New this year is first aid skills. The teamwork challenge, here's a photo of our teamwork challenge, as well as treasure hunt, which is also new this year. And treasure hunt is based off of navigation, some skills that your scouts would have learned most likely during their wolf rank. But with bringing in that theme again, a mythic heroes twist of, how the ancient Greeks went on many adventures. So in Treasure Hunt, we're going to be part of Jason and the Argonauts and their crew as they attempt to navigate and find the Golden Fleece. All right, so those are the program areas. Again, that fills up your Monday and Tuesday with those introductory Monday, Tuesday lessons and sessions. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you as a pack are able to pick and choose which of all those different activities you are most interested in participating in. But it's not just program areas, it's not just time with our staff, as wonderful as they are, but there's also time for you to take advantage of some of the wonderful outdoor opportunities here at the Goshen Scout Reservation. So many of our units will choose to go hiking during these times, take a full morning or a full afternoon to explore some hiking trails. Some of our favorites are Viewing Rock. Viewing Rock is about a mile and a half one way, mile and a half back down to go to this beautiful vista that oversees the entirety of Lake Meriwether and the Goshen Scout Reservation. I know that I try to hike it every year. We also have the swimming hole, which is a little different than the lake and a great place to cool off and splash around when the water's really high. So not quite like this picture here, but it creates this really great natural slide to get to, float down. And we also have an opportunity to attend a Scouts BSA tour. Earlier, I mentioned that Camp Ross is one of 5 summer camps here at the Goshen Scout Reservation, 3 of the others being Scouts BSA specific summer camps. So by signing up for the Scouts BSA camp tour, you and your scouts have the opportunity to tour Camp Marriott, which is one of our camps just next door, and learn about what that summer camp experience will be like for your scouts when they join Scouts BSA. That might be the following year, or if they're a week below in 2 years' time. We also have some other activities to participate in. So during Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you and your pack can choose to sign up for a service project. So service projects help to beautify Camp Ross and give back to the camp. The way that we manage service projects is currently we're compiling a list of all the different things that we'd like to do at Camp Ross over the summer with our ranger staff. And we'll have a list posted. I'm thinking probably in the April timeframe where your pack can sign up for a particular project, and then we would coordinate with you prior to arriving at camp on what that project looks like, and you would complete it during that signed up period that you've signed up for. I know it might be silly that we have shower time on here, but we have found over the years that units enjoy having designated shower time. So we have a large shower house at Camp Ross that's currently undergoing a update to our ventilation system. And your pack just gets to sign up, and that is your time for the shower house. You don't have to compete with anybody else. So many of our adults have grown to appreciate that. We also have pack time where you could say, during this 1 hour block, we just want to take time in our campsite to spend time together, maybe work on advancement or other activities that you have on your own. So packs commonly also use this time to shower, as well as go to the trading post, play games in the parade field. We always have field games out and available. Go fishing, relax, maybe play some cards. So that is scheduled time just for you. Lastly, we have some evening programs. Every day we have a different activity that's happening, what I'll call after hours. So you have those 6 hours of program time, which really packs up the day. You have dinner, and then there's some relaxing downtime that happens in the evening, and that's where these evening programs come into play. So we start and end each week with a big campfire with all of the camp together at our campfire hill. So those are on Sunday and Friday. On Monday, we have formal field games within our large parade field, as well as Gaga Ball. You see this photo up on the top right of a Gaga Ball ring, so that's very popular with our scouts. Earlier, we talked about foil dinner night being on Tuesday, so generally that takes a few hours to cook and eat together and then just spend time together as a pack. Wednesday, we have a staff hunt. So you have to work together as a pack to find all the different staff in a very short period of time. And all the staff have hidden throughout camp. So we've seen them, hiding behind buildings and maybe behind a sign or up a tree. Lots of fun ways to find staff that quickly become favorite staff by the end of the week. Also on Wednesday, we have a star party. So you go out into the parade field. It's quite dark at night at the Goshen Scout Reservation and get to see some different constellations and stars that are much brighter than maybe you can back home. Lastly, on Thursday, we have an interfaith service. This is a Scout-led interfaith service, but supported by our reservation chaplain and can be partnered with our Goshen Scout Reservation Duty to God program. And then we also have an Arrow of Light campfire. This campfire is exclusively for Arrow of Light scouts at camp, and they go out to an area of Camp Ross called the White Pine Forest and enjoy a private campfire as well as a fun dessert as well. So those are some of your evening program activities to look forward to. So we've gone over all sorts of different things that your scouts are going to do at Camp Ross. I know that we've gone through them fairly quickly, but again, your Camp Ross program guide is going to be that great cheat sheet for you and your scouts in order to see what all these different programs are. Maybe when you're planning what you'd like to do with your pack Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have an idea ahead of time using that guide. But we've talked a lot about what scouts are going to do. What do you do as an adult leader? So Sarah and I thought of a few different points that we felt was important that is a role for all adult leaders and parents during their time at camp. So as an adult, we're expecting you to help to maintain pack safety and discipline at all times. That's from the moment you arrive at Camp Ross to the moment you leave and beyond that. So including traveling to and from camp. When we are going to and from a scouting event, we are representatives of Scouting America, of our brand. So we ask that you help to maintain safety and discipline of you and your scouts the entire time that you're with us and traveling to and from. We ask that adults help to maintain youth protection supervision in all areas at all times throughout camp. So that's campsites, program areas, walking to the shower house, just ensuring that all of our youth have appropriate coverage. You get to participate in activities all day as well, just like your scouts. So when your scouts are getting to shoot archery, once they've had their chance, you are also going to have the opportunity to shoot archery on the range. So we ask that you come prepared to be an active member of camp activities, though you're welcome to lounge on some of our great deck chairs out at the dining hall as well. We ask that you be aware of your scout and your pack's needs. Be aware of what maybe a scout's dietary restrictions are, if they have any allergies, medical concerns. What are their goals at camp? Is this a scout's first time away from home? So we recommend that prior to camp, that's part of why parts A, B, and C of your medical form are so important. You, as the adult bringing your scouts to camp, should have the ability to take a look at those forms and be aware of what your scouts' needs are because you're their advocate while they're at camp. So just be aware of your scouts' needs, your PAC's needs, your fellow adult leaders' needs while they're there because you're one unit together. We also ask that you provide guidance, counseling, and encouragement to scouts as well as fellow leaders. Many of our scouts and leaders are going to be doing things that they've never done before at camp, which is such an exciting thing to get to do. Sometimes they may need a little bit of encouragement along the way. And lastly, at the end of the week, you have the opportunity to complete an end of week evaluation. And we not only use that as ways to inform how to be better, for the rest of the summer, but how to improve on the following year. So we really appreciate your feedback for beginning to end of camp. If there's something at camp that you feel needs to be addressed or be improved on, please don't wait until that evaluation to bring it up. Any member of our staff is always, happy and willing to take any type of feedback that there may be so that we can positively impact your stay at camp when you're still there. But of course, those end of week evaluations are very helpful to us as well. All right, do we have any questions, Sarah, as we come to the end of our program and adventure elective review?
I've got one. In addition to participating in the program activities with their scouts, as long as there's minimum supervision in those program areas, what are some of the other things that are available for adult leaders?
Absolutely. So every week at the Goshen Scout Reservation, we partner with the NCAC Training Committee to come down and offer adult leader training opportunities. So our goal this year is, for example, to be able to offer Baloo every week while we're at camp. So one of our investments at Goshen this year is we've hired a training director that is going to help us to coordinate lots of these opportunities. So if while you are thinking about, oh, I'm going to be here at camp. It'd be really cool if we had XYZ opportunity. We'd love to hear about that so that we can see how we can make it happen.
We've also got internet for people that may need that internet service in the dining hall and the admin building. If anyone needs to step away from the program area, as long as minimum supervision is there to check their email or look at stuff online.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was an addition to Camp Ross last year as we installed high-speed fiber optic internet. And we're not encouraging that people be on their phones all the time at camp, but we understand that it can be difficult to step away from the office and still need to check in on how things are at home. So that is absolutely there for you to use.
And we've had one question, which I think we answered already by going through the slides, but will the Monday, Tuesday block be enough to earn the adventures, or will scouts need to attend more through the week?
So it kind of depends on what the different program is. We've sort of spliced it out a little bit so that let's say you're doing boating on Tuesday at aquatics. That as a whole is not going to fulfill all the requirements for your paddlecraft and paddle onward requirements. It'll do some of it, and then that paddle onward paddle craft will complete the rest of it.
All right. If anyone has any other questions, what days are we doing the Baloo training?
That hasn't been scheduled yet. Typically, that happens during program time, so either it'll be morning session or afternoon session. I anticipate that our schedule will be available in April, and we'll make sure to send that out to all of our registration contacts.
All right. We'll see if there are any other questions that come in. So while we're waiting, what is your favorite adventure program, Elizabeth?
Oh, my favorite. I got to, for those of you that don't know, I mostly worked at Hawks and High Adventure, which is our Scouts BSI High Adventure base at Goshen. But I got to work 1 week at archery at Camp Ross all the way back in 2019. So I think I know that wasn't quite your question, but program area wise, archery always has a soft spot in my heart. I think it's so much fun, and you really get to see how you improve as the week goes on. Do you have a favorite, Sarah? I'm gonna guess anything dealing with trees.
I do like the trees. The Scoutcraft ones are also really fun. There is a giant monkey bridge that during some of the activities the scouts get to climb on and go down the whole length of the very long monkey bridge. All right, we have one more. We have another question that came in. Can scouts come for part of the week or do they have to come the full week? So I'll take this one since it's more of a registration one. Um, So scouts can come part of the week, but we don't have a prorated fee. So even if they're coming for only part of the week, they still would need to register and pay as a full week attendee. That's for the scout youth. Um, for any of you that have scouts that can't attend with the rest of their pack, we do have a Phoenix Nest program, which is our program for small groups. So they can come. They need one registered adult leader, and then they can bring anywhere between one up to four scouts with them as part of that group. If it's a one-on-one, they do need to be parent, guardian, and child to satisfy youth protection. But they can come another week during the summer, and we'll pair them with other folks in the Phoenix Nest to create a pack for the week.
I know that that question is mostly for youth campers, but also for our adult campers. I know that it can be difficult to get so much time away from the office, so much PTO. So we do have a split week ability specifically for adults where you register together. Currently, the setup is that the first name and last name of the first person goes in the first name box, and then the full name of the second person goes in the last name box of a registration. And so you are able to for the price of one adult, have two adults split that week. The most common split that we see is, Sunday through Wednesday, and then Wednesday through Saturday with that handoff. And that has allowed more scouts to be able to attend and more adults to get to experience Camp Ross as well.
All right, not a question, but the in the Q&A, very excited for the water trampoline to be back.
We are as well. That just arrived at Camp Ross about 2 weeks ago. So we're really excited to get to inflate it and put it out in the lake and for you and your scouts to enjoy it. Sarah, you're muted.
Yes, that
There we
is
go.
true. We'll see if any other questions come in, but pending no other questions, uh, where should
Absolutely. Well,
people go if they have questions later or need more information?
so both Sarah and my emails are available on our website, kind of the bottom banner. You're also able to send an email to the Camp Ross email. That's camp.ross@gotogoshen.org. And that comes to me anyway. So I'll see it whether you email me or whether you email our Camp Ross team. We're always happy to answer questions. We do encourage you now that our Camp Ross program guide is available. We'll send that out via email as well to take a look at that, see if that answers any of your questions. And if it doesn't, have a phone call or an email with us. We're always available.
And for those of you joining us for our next webinar, that's going to be on March 24th, and that'll be the Meet Your Camp Ross admin team.
All right. Well, if
Ah,
no other,
we have two others which are both pretty much the same, which is where is this going to be posted afterwards? The easiest way to find the YouTube version of this recording and access to the presentation. So both of these, probably the easiest way to find these is during this coming week. These will both, the slides and the recording will be posted on weownadventure.com, which is the National Capital Area Council blog. So that's weownadventure.com.
if you're looking for any of the supplemental documents that we've talked about, program guide, our leaders and parents guide will be posted later this week with some of similar information, as well as a copy of that schedule that we shared with you. If you navigate over to the Camp Ross webpage on gotogoshen.org, there's an area that says forms and downloads, and all that information will be there as well.
All right, I think we've come to the end of our questions, unless a few more pop up, but I think we're at the end of our questions.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for joining and getting excited with us about the Camp Ross programs, both new and returning in 2025. We look forward to seeing you again at the March 24th Meet Your Camp Ross Team webinar. Registration for that is already live, so if you go over to the NCAC calendar, just like you did for this one, you're able to pre-register for that. That'll just send you email updates and reminders leading into that camp session. In the meantime, Ross is boss, and we look forward to seeing you at camp. Bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.